Okay, it's going again. This is part two of God in our life. Part one was when I met the Lord on top of the mountaintop. Okay. And this one is called A Touch from the Lord. After I met the Jesus on the mountaintop and all, I went back to North Dakota. Me and Marianne got back together. And we traveled around a lot from there. I left North Dakota, and we lived in Utah for a while, and lived in Colorado for a while. And then we ended up coming back to Arkansas, and we was living at Mountain Home, Arkansas. Okay, while we was there, we joined a full gospel church. I grew up in that church, learned all the basics that I needed to know and all at that church. And there was a point in time, after a while, that I felt like the whole world was collapsing around me. I followed everything that my pastor had preached and was doing my utmost to walk as close to Jesus as I knew how at that time. Because I was still a young Christian then. I tithed the way the church had taught me, and things seemed, it just kept getting worse. As far as I knew, I was doing everything I was supposed to do, but things kept getting worse. There was very little work, therefore I got way behind on my bills. The more I tithed, the worse things got. I was about to lose my land, my home. The kids were in need of clothing and shoes. There was little food to eat. My vehicles were old pieces of junk that continually broke down. I was going without food myself to prevent my kids from knowing what true hunger was. And I couldn't understand why we were going through this. So the more I tried to follow in the Lord's footsteps, the worse things got. I began to panic, and worry was consuming me. I wondered, have I done something wrong? Or have I missed something somewhere? Because everyone else in church seemed to be having a great time. Everybody's prospering, everybody's having fun, and here I was completely struggling. And I just kept going, why? Why is this happening to me? I don't understand. Okay, it was a bright moonlit night, and I went for a walk with my dog. His name was Sonny. He was a little Australian Shepherd. And I wanted to go, went up into the field, went out of the woods into a field just to get before the Lord and pray. And I fell to my knees with tears in my eyes and began asking the Lord why all these terrible things are happening to me and my family. And I started crying uncontrollably, and I just basically begged the Lord to show me some kind of sign that He was still with me. I hadn't felt Him in my life for quite a while. I just felt like I was abandoned. And I desperately needed to know that He was still there. And there was a reason behind the trial that I was going through. Still sobbing, I heard something in the distance, right at the edge of the woods where the field stopped. It was like a high-pitched humming or whistling. It's hard to describe it. It's just real high-pitched. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. My son, he was sitting, laying beside me. Then he heard whatever I was hearing, he was hearing, because he was looking, just looking at the direction where that sound was coming from. And it kept getting closer and closer. And the closer the sound got, Sonny was getting kind of straight, more excited. His tail started wagging, and when I got within 20 or 30 feet, he was standing up, wagging his tail. And I looked down at him and looked, I couldn't see a thing. I couldn't see nothing. It's like he was seeing something that I couldn't see. So it got real close, and about 10 feet from me, approximately 10 feet, according to my ear, it was about 10 feet. So I knew that he was just wagging his tail and just looking up and just and all this stuff. Like, what is he seeing? Then the sound stopped right in front of me, and he was looking straight up, like, yeah, I see you, I see you, I see you. You know, the way he was acting, and I was sitting there, what's going on here? You know, and then it happened. Suddenly, I felt a hand touch my shoulder. I could feel each finger just gently touch my shoulder. I fell to the ground. I collapsed. And I laid there. I had no idea what happened. And then that sound went right on past me a little ways, and then went straight up, and it was gone. And then Sonny laid back down beside me, just lay down, curled up, and went to sleep. And I was laying there going, whoa, what just happened, you know? But the thing was, all the frustration, the worry, and all that just disappeared. It was just totally gone. I received my sign that night. It's the night that I will never forget. It is the night that the Lord Jesus had compassion on me and made a special trip from his throne just to touch me. That's enough. Got the goosebumps. That's another example of Jesus in my life. God bless you.